Yeah. Good afternoon and welcome to the Department of Public Works Utilities Complex and Firehouse groundbreaking ceremony. Before I start delivering a speech, I love the music, I'd like to do a few introductions. Please just raise your hand when I call out your name. Council President Ron Dixon, Councilman Rich Revelinsky, Councilwoman Dorianne Kerber, Councilman Randy Farkas, Councilman Nick Ligotti, Councilwoman Trina Mayer, from the Milltown Fire Department, Chief Steve Bailey, Chief Steve Battaglia, Chief Dan Knoll, sorry about that, former fire chief and a good friend of mine, and one of the men that made it possible for us to be here today is former Chief Joel Carasso. Where are you, Joel? There you are. Our DPW Director, Ralph Jazanowski, OEM Director and Zoning Official Mike Marcinzik, Utilities Director John Eckert, Borough Engineer Mike McClelland, and over off to the side our construction contractor Mike McCauley. How you doing, Mike? Gathered here today to collectively and ceremonially break into the earth, signifying the start of the construction of Milltown's new public works and utilities complex and firehouse. This ceremony is the culmination of a tremendous effort by people who share the love of our beloved community and the desire to help their fellow man. We proudly stand united as residents, students, volunteers, professionals, employees, and community leaders to overcome a great obstacle, to correct mistakes of the past, to unite our beloved fire department under one roof and create a beautiful center of town. As I have said in the past, if we choose to work together as one, we can accomplish great things. This day stands as a testament to that belief. All right. To understand why we have gathered here today, we must know our history. First, we're going to look at our two firehouses and two fire departments. Let's start with the South Main Street Firehouse. The original Queen Anne architectural style school building was constructed in 1889 by East Brunswick Township and used until 1908 to house the South Milltown School District number 78 classrooms. After Milltown incorporated into a standalone borough in 1896, East Brunswick abandoned the property and the old schoolhouse lay empty for a few years. The building was later renovated into a firehouse by Milltown around 1910. Since 1911, the building has been used as the home of Eureka Engine Company number 1, Borough Hall, council chambers, and police headquarters. In 1975, a new engine bay was added to the structure, followed by a new roof and vinyl siding in the 1980s. In the 1990s, the firemen solicited for financial donations and building materials and provided all the labor needed to renovate the interior meeting space and recreation room. New windows were generously donated by Silverline Windows of North Brunswick. Another addition was built by the borough in the late 1990s, which included modern restrooms, a mechanical room, storage room, and an equipment laundry area. Unfortunately, the building was severely damaged by several storms and hurricanes, ravaged by time and borough neglect, and has fallen into disrepair. The 130-year-old building with an undersized engine bay cannot be brought up to current OSHA standards, creating the need for a new modern facility. The Cottage Avenue Firehouse, or Eureka Hose Company number 1 Firehouse, was designed and constructed as a firehouse in 1925 at a cost of $16,000. Over the years, it housed public works vehicles and equipment, the Milltown Municipal Safe, and the police department's jail cell. In 1968, a recreation room was added that was financed and built by the firemen themselves. In In 1989, a new roof and fire escape were added by the borough. In the 1990s, the firemen solicited for financial donations and building materials and provided all the labor needed to renovate the interior, meeting space, and recreation room. New windows were generously donated by Silverline Windows of North Brunswick. Unfortunately, the building and engine bays were designed when fire trucks and ladder trucks were the size of a large pickup truck. Modern-day fire apparatus can no longer fit into the existing space without costly modifications to the truck or building, and the 93-year-old structure cannot be brought up to current OSHA standards, creating the need for a new, modern facility. As an organization, the Milltown Fire Department was incorporated on February 22nd, 1911, as the Eureka Fire Company No. 1 and functioned out of the South Main Street Firehouse. Then on October 6, 1922, this company was disbanded and two new separate functioning companies were formed and incorporated. Plans were soon underway to build the new firehouse on Cottage Avenue. This situation continued until the year 1999, when the reality of needing two new modern firehouses set in. After much discussion between the fire board officers and the governing body, it was deemed most logistically and financially responsible for the borough to reunite the two separate entities under one brand new roof. Milltown's original Public Works and Utilities building, the Little Red Barn, can still be found today behind the South Main Street Firehouse. It currently is the home of the Eureka Fire Museum. Over the years, the Public Works and Utilities Department also housed equipment in the Cottage Avenue Firehouse, the old brick bathroom building at the Borough Pool, and several annex barns built at various locations around town. In 1967, the Public Works and Utilities Department consolidated sites and moved to its current location behind Town Hall along the banks of the Lawrence Brook. Unfortunately for us, our former borough fathers did not foresee the potential for explosive and unchecked growth of the adjoining communities that lie upstream from their chosen site. Over the next 6 decades, development in the Lawrence Brook watershed flourished. The land was quickly covered with impervious surfaces. Those storm drainage systems all empty into the Lawrence Brook. All of that water, of course, as you know, must then pass through Milltown. This scenario, coupled with more frequent and powerful rainfall events, has created a recipe for disaster by way of catastrophic flooding. Over the years, Milltown has endured several nor'easter storms and hurricanes whose floodwaters inundated the Public Works utility building and maintenance yard. On countless occasions, borough assets were swept away in the deluge, while attempts were made to recoup financial losses through insurance claims. Finally, in January of 2015, the governing body agreed that a new facility must be constructed that conforms to all modern OSHA and environmental standards, and that is also well out of the floodplain. In March of 2015, I obtained survey information from this very property, which was originally purchased by the borough as the electric substation site. After preliminary calculations were performed, I realized that a new Public Works and Utilities complex and firehouse would fit on the same property that the borough already owns. I referenced a site sketch I prepared with then Fire Chief Joel Carasso for a new firehouse from 1999, and a large list of concerns expressed to me by residents of the Mill condominium and the surrounding homeowners. I also referenced residents' concerns and objections expressed during the 2011 Firehouse referendum campaign and its subsequent council-driven redesign attempt. With all information gathered and a clear directive from residents, I created a conceptual site plan for this project. The concept design quickly garnered support from the majority of the council, the fire board, our Public Works and Utilities management. The decision was made to prevent high building costs by avoiding masonry block construction and instead build wood post and steel structures. Meetings were held to ascertain the overall needs of the various departments and work down to the smallest details. An architect was hired to design buildings around necessity and function, not based on art, with affordability the bottom line. The borough engineer fine-tuned the site plan, ensuring proper function at a responsible cost. After 2 years of much discussion and sometimes heated debate, I am proud to report the plans are complete, unanimously approved, fully financed, and ready for construction. When complete, this complex will fulfill the needs of Milltown well into the next century. The other great benefits to Milltown that will also be realized by this project were no accident. With our public works, utilities, and construction offices moving to this new facility and freeing up much needed office space at Barrow Hall, the Milltown Police Department and Recreation Department will have the proper space they need to work and house their equipment. With most of our employees' vehicles parking at this new facility, dozens of parking spaces will be freed up for residents visiting Barrow Hall during business hours, solving yet another serious and costly problem. When all the old Barrow assets, including the old electrical substation, have been removed from the floodplain behind Barrow Hall, we will have a new open space park and recreation area that is sure to further beautify our Main Street and downtown area. Now, I wish to thank the following: all the members of the Milltown Fire Department, present and past, for their service, patience, understanding, and unwavering dedication to the residents of Milltown. Guys, it's been a long time coming, and that day is here. Mike Marcinzik for working out all the details and keeping everyone focused on the goals. The Milltown Borough Council for their eventual but unanimous support, and to them I am eternally grateful. Borough Engineer Mike McClelland and CME Associates for making the concept real. All of our professionals and employees who have worked so hard to make this day a reality. I wish to acknowledge and thank the contractors who will build our complex. Macaulay Construction Company, Carson Corporation, AGP and Sons Plumbing, Thermal Piping, HVAC and Radiant Heat, Beach Electric, and Mastercraft Iron, who will be supplying steel stairs and railings. Now, I have every confidence that these firms will perform to our expectations and construct a complex that will fulfill Milltown's needs for the next 100 years. And finally, yay, finally, I wish to thank the residents of Milltown for their support and their understanding of this essential project. We will all meet here again in 2019 to cut the ribbon and dedicate our new complex. Hopefully at that time, you'll be able to look across Washington Avenue on the other side of Barrow Hall and see a sign that reads, "Future Home of Milltown's Newest Park." Ladies and gentlemen, the words spoken here today will soon belong to history, but our collective deeds will not be forgotten. Thank you, and may God bless Milltown. With that, I would invite any member of the council have any words they wish to share.
I think you said it best, Mr. Mayor.
Well, thank you. With that, let's all take our positions behind the shovels, get some hard hats on, and let's get ready to break some ground, huh? Spread on down, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, you
Do they know?
You take one of those with you, Joel.
You don't think you gotta get away, right?
Tell them. Grab, ladies, 8th graders, grab a council person. Don't be shy.
Sorry. No, you're fine. I don't want to jump in.
Go ahead. Yeah, everybody get their Kodak moment. Wait a minute. I gotta go back a little bit more. Watch out behind me. There you go. Wait, you don't want the girls involved?
Everybody get shovels. Come on, let's go.
Ralph, can you help the girls get in there?
Mr. Mayor, wait one moment. When you get the young ladies in there.
Got a couple more down here?
Yeah.
Only appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, girls. Gone over. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready? In 3. You throw it at me.
No.
In 3, 2, 1, break the ground. All right. At this time, I'd like to invite everybody up. We have some artistic renderings, three-dimensional renderings of what the project's going to look like. If you haven't seen them, please come on up and see them. With that, I think we're good.